What's up, guys? In this episode, we're going to talk about whether or not headstocks really matter. Stay tuned. What is up, my gang? It's your boy Luis Torres, and yes, here is another guitar episode, but not necessarily really guitar related, but guitar related, just not really playing, although we'll play later. So, throughout the years, everyone's always grabbed one guitar and another guitar. I think it's usually because of the shape, right? Whether you like a BC Rich Warlock, whether you like Strat, more like a Fender Strat, a Super Strat, or anything, in between, like the Abasi. So, but what about headstocks? How important is a headstock? To me, it's kind of everything, because for the most part, I basically use Super Strats. Like, you don't necessarily see me with anything else, although... let me see if I can reach her from here. Oh, I can't. Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. Please hold. Oh, wait. Are you stuck? She may be stuck. Anyway. So I actually have a early 1990s BC Rich Warlock that has the crackle paint, so it's black crackle on a blue body, but I haven't used it because I broke one of the tuners off it, so I have to get another one, and it's just kind of on the side, whatever. Anyway, so aside from shapes, that's the only kind of oddity that I have in my collection of 53 guitars, and the overall headstock design is, as you probably have guessed it, it's going to be the ESP. And now, and I've always loved this headstock style, but it didn't start with this one. It started with this guy right here, which is the original Jackson style ESP headstock that came out in the 80s. So this is my 1987 Esp M2 Custom neck through body, and this guitar is absolutely amazing, plays super incredible, heavy, has a rounder neck profile than probably any of the more modern ones that I have, but this one's absolutely amazing. But this is literally where my fondness for ESP headstocks came out, and funny enough, I remember just being like, why does Jackson use an ESP style headstock? And of course, that wasn't the case, and everyone knows that ESP basically took the Jackson headstock and went like this, and was like, that's it right there, son, that's it right there. So that is this guy right here. So this is my 1992 Jackson, this is actually Jackson Professional, and this is the Super Strat with the, what do they call this again? Granite. It's the granite finish. So although it looks like it's just all speckles, it actually is textured, which is weird. And I know a lot of you guys actually literally have the same guitar because you've sent me photos of the same exact guitar. So these were made in Japan with the maple fretboard, maple neck, and of course, there's the Jackson style headstock. I actually have a few Jacksons where they're pointing downward, but oddly enough, I don't like those as much as I love the reverse. And that's just, dude, I'm just a kid of the 80s. I remember when they started to some guitar companies started to offer reverse headstocks, and I'm like, that is absolutely incredible. In fact, my very first ESP was Saab's ESP, the guitarist from Merauder, his 1986 Esp M2 Custom, and it had the reverse headstock. And unfortunately, he passed away. And this guitar, this M1, is kind of an homage to Saab, you know, just because this is literally the same guitar that I bought from him with a downward facing headstock instead of the reverse, which is what he had. And actually, I'll put a link below, and you guys can check out the video with Saab playing my very first ESP M1. So of course, you know, so here are these ESP headstocks, right? And I love that, you know, most of my guitars are black, so it's easy to say I love my headstocks when they match black on black, black on black, right? Super easy. But then you get the, you know, the combo, right? And those are always gorgeous. So here's my Esp E2 M2 Urban Camo. So of course I love the fact that it's camo body, camo on the neck, and headstock including the back. So, you know, and funny enough, they're like pieces of art to me. You know, so, some guys are just like, yo, why do you have so many guitars? You're a terrible guitarist. And I'm just like, yo, some people have and collect cars because they think they look great. They're muscle cars, whatever the case is, they're antiques. Some people like collecting baseball cards and they look for the oddities that they have, or even, you know, old US currency from the 1800s because they're larger in size. So there's a lot of things that you guys are into, and this is basically the same thing. So of course, you know, one of my favorites is this 1993 Esp M2 Custom. Not only is this an oddity, not because it has a flame top, but because the cap is so thick. It is absolutely crazy. Trust me, I can't imagine that any of you guys, with the exception of I think one other person that literally has almost the same guitar, that has a cap that's this wide. And of course, this is someone was awesome enough to tell me that this is called the Kamikaze input, which is just flush with the body. And the best part is that the headstock is also a flame maple top on there also. So, you know, and then of course there's the super robust, this is my 1991 Esp Horizon Custom and neck through body. And this guy is gorgeous. And I kind of wish that they had done the same with the headstock, but whatever, you know, I'll take a reverse Jackson style, you know, OG right there, right? Then let's go over to Kiesel, right? So Kiesel, you know, so this is my Kiesel Aries A6c. This one was actually featured on their website for a long time because it featured, this was their one of their very early Ash Aries bodies with a matching ash, I mean, although it's just veneer, but the headstock is maple with the veneer ash on there. So, but this guitar is absolutely gorgeous. Again, you know, I just love the texturing and the lines that you can see. It's a matte black, so you literally see, right? You can see, looks like your mother's wood paneling from the 70s. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we had them too. So then, here's one of the weird things is when ESP had their teardrop headstocks, and I think they still have them now. I know a few guys actually have the teardrop as an LTD, so I guess they actually extended it over to that line. But this is my Ash 1996 Ash Esp Horizon Custom, and this one came from their custom shop, and just absolutely gorgeous with the ash. This is called Vintage Yellow finish, although I have oftentimes thought about getting it stripped and then having it repainted as a transparent black, including the headstock. Even talked to Ryan from Esp Customs in Hollywood to say, hey, can you do that? And he's like, the only thing is he can't use a new ESP logo on there. So, and I get it, since they didn't, this didn't come from the ESP custom shop in Hollywood. Then let's go over to, let me grab another guitar over here. Let's grab this guy here. Yes. Are the 3 and 3s, right? So this is my LTD Eclipse or EC1000 Custom. This one has the Fluence pickups, the Will Adlers. So it has the push-pull on there. So, but it took a while for me to get used to this, and then this at the same time. But that was just, that was one of the things that kind of took me. But I love, the Les Paul shape. Although, I kind of haven't been fond of Gibson for a few years. When I say a few years, I probably mean close to 10 at this point. All right, so there's that guitar. And then, of course, there is my Paulrich Smith Custom 22. This one has the flame maple top, and although I wish that the headstock had the same finish, I'm kind of glad that it doesn't. So it's weird. Like, some things I'm okay with, some things I'm not. But the funny thing is that this top is, what do they call it? Match something or other, where you actually have to oil the headstock also, because it's open pore, just like your frets are. So whenever I oil my frets, I always take my strings off and oil the headstock also, which is weird. And this is the only guitar that actually that I have to do that to. So, but we're all about style to some degree, right? Like what you like, whether it's furnishing your house, furnishing your bathroom, getting backyard furniture, like that's all a bit of your style. If you buy a t-shirt, you're going to want something that represents you. Like, to me, this Rev shirt, and I love Rev, they're absolutely awesome. This Rev shirt to me is clean. It's right to the point, just like my KSR shirts. Like, to me, that's just kind of like my style. And then, then there's my satanic shirts by Goat Whore. All right, so let me grab a guitar. Oh, how about this one? Forgot to grab this one. And funny enough, this is one of my favorite style or shape headstocks. Is let's just call it the solar guitar, because that's really what it is. But this is the this is the original Solar by Washburn. So this is the original guitar shape that they launched with Washburn, and no broken frets. Literally, I haven't oiled this thing in maybe 4 years. So yeah. But yeah, it's a great guitar. It sounds great. And again, one of my favorite headstocks. And let me grab a guitar, and I'm going to run my Paulrich Smith MT50, 50 watts. And if anyone says that you shouldn't get it done, do not listen to them. If you have an MT15 and you bought one used, especially if it's used and you've got a great price for it, let's say $400, $450, then you're probably better off taking 250. The output transformer is 150, 153 to be exact, right from their website, and just pay, maybe 125, 150 to have someone just install it and just go through it to make sure everything is fine. So, but yeah, dude, that way you don't have to spend, you don't have to go out of your way and buy a 50 watt amp for $1,500 or $2,000, when you can just get an MT15 and just modify it and just have your 50 watt right there. Dude, it's sick. So, let me grab my Kiesel, because I haven't played this guy in a little bit. I seriously, I need a guitar strap sponsor. How many guitars do I have around? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So at any given time, I have 23 guitars out. 23, 24, 25 guitars out. Everything else is in cases. Literally double that in cases. It's just funny. Like, I have Jackson soloists. I have a ton of Ibanez's. I have a ton of other Jacksons. Oh, it's just crazy. A bunch of other ESPs that I have. Ugh. I love it, but it's crazy. You know how hard it is to try to find the space for a bunch of cases with guitars and empty cases, and on top of that, dude, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 cases right here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cases that I can see, and I know there's like 10 more in my office. Ah! Turn on! Do I have it? Ah, there it goes. Hold on. Please hold. So guys, dude, yes, the amp is still loud and a bit noisy. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't just yet. Again, I have a secret pedal that I will be using and mentioning throughout the next few weeks. You know, every once in a while, I'll secretly use it on one of my videos. And that way you guys get to hear what that sounds like as we get closer to April 13th. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Wow, this is 18 minutes. You guys are the best. Thank you. Hit the little bell if you haven't. And as usual, this guy will talk to you soon. Let me try to play a little solo. Ah, it's all off. Never mind. Urgh.